Good morning. We are in the 8th week of e-learning, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about your last assignment. This assignment I have given for I don't know how many years, but it's called A Letter to Me. And the reason I do this is because it puts a little date stamp time of what you did in the year in my classroom, and it enables you to look back on it when you graduate, because the letter to me you're going to write to yourself, and I return it to you on graduation day. It comes in with your diploma. So I do this so that you can see, hey, what was I doing back then? Give you a little jog of memory of what your year was like this year. And definitely this one will be a lot different than hopefully the rest of your high school career, because this was an unexpected, never ever did I think that we'd be put in quarantine. So this is truly an extraordinary year for you all. And being freshmen, you got 3 more years to go. So in 3 years, you'll get this letter back and go, wow, I wrote that. What was I thinking back then? There's a lot of things I get from the kids when they read them on graduation night. So the other reason I do this is because in this stage in your life, you don't realize what and where you're going. If you had asked me, 20 years ago, been teaching for probably 23 years ago, what I'd be doing when I graduated from high school and where my career had gone, I would have told you there was no way in the world that I'd be teaching algebra. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I'd be teaching algebra for as many years as I did. I did fail Algebra 2 my senior year, hated math, but you never know where your path is going to lead. So you think now what you're going to do, and you get out of high school and things just change. You don't realize what and where you'll be in the next 5 to 10 years. So this letter is a little bit of remembering and being able to put a time stamp again on what was happening in your life, what your hopes and dreams were at this moment, and enable you to see what changed between now and when you graduate. So I have a couple things that I want you to put in this letter, and I also have a video that we're going to watch, because I feel like putting music to what you're going to do helps you think about and through how to write the letter. The video I'm going to show is Brad Pasley. It's called A Letter to Me. It's a song he wrote, and I've played it every year to help kids start thinking about the process. So before I do that, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you what I want you to actually write in your letter. So the first thing it says is directions. Write a letter to yourself. This letter will be sent to Mrs. Lutz via Edsby. The letter must contain at least 10 sentences minimum. Many will write more than 10. It's okay to write more than 10. I get whole pages when my students do this. I give them the entire period to write it, so it's something that I take the time to let you guys put down your words on paper. The letter will be returned to you at graduation, and many of you will ask, but I'm going to the new school, how will you get the letter to me? I will follow the same process I have in the past, and that I will put it in with your diploma. So I will go to the school, the new school, and put those with your diploma. If you've moved between now and your senior year, I will reach out to your parents and I'll mail it to you. It doesn't matter where you are. I have actually 2 exchange students this year that I'm mailing theirs back to their countries which they live, because they were exchange students with me. So I am sending letters a lot of places. So the parent phone number helps me get a hold of you. So I want you to take your time to write this. You can type it, you can handwrite it. Just make sure it's eligible so that I can print it, because I will print these because I do store these, and enable me to print it. So if you want to type it, that's fine. I think it's a little bit nicer when you write it because it's in your own handwriting, but I know that might be hard at this time, so you guys can do a Word document and send it to me. That's fine, just attach it in Edsby. So there is those options. If you take a picture of it, just make sure I'm able to read it and be able to print it, because I want to make sure that when you get it back, it's your original. So at the top of your letter, I want you to please head it with the following: your name, your full name, first and last name. Okay, in order for me to get it back to you, I have to be able to have your first and last name. Class, graduation year. I think almost all of you are freshmen, so your year of graduation is 2023, because that's how I filed them. I filed them by year. And parent cell phone number. The cell phone number is so that I can text your parents if you've moved and be able to mail it to you. I probably have about 10 of those this year that I'm mailing to students that have moved to Pasco County, that have moved to other high schools in this county. And so just make sure that you include that so it's easier for me to get a hold of your parents to get you this letter back. So what do you include in the letter? In the letter, I want you to include the following items. Number one, what could you have done differently this year in your classes? Whether it be my class, your English class, what would you have liked to have done differently? Studied more, done tests better, gone to tutoring, what could you have done better? Number two, what were you happy about that you did this year? Was it a sport? Was it meeting new friends? Was it hanging out in the cafeteria during lunch and meeting different people, going to football games? What was the one thing that made you happy? Number three, how did the quarantine affect your school? Just tell me, hey, this quarantine, it really hit me hard. I wasn't good at, or I was excellent at. Just tell me a little bit about how you felt with online learning during the quarantine. Number four, what is the best and worst of your quarantine? Just talk about how you did during the quarantine. Your family got along better, you did family dinners. Whatever you did, whatever you want to write about, that's fine. Because remember, in 3 years, you're going to be reading this. So you're going to want to remember what were the things that were the best and the worst. And the last thing, and this is important because I like to go back and see where your dreams and hopes were. So number 5 is, what are your hopes and dreams for the remainder of your high school and afterwards? Tell me if you want to go to college, what you want to do after high school. Do you want to be a nurse? Do you want to be a firefighter? Do you want to be a teacher? What do you want to do and where do you want to go? You want to go in the military? Just tell me sort of a little bit about that, so when I write you back, I can look at some things and see where you're at. So remember, this is your last grade for me, and it's an easy 100. And every year I've put it in as a test grade or a quiz grade. So know that this grade can help pull you up. So it's an easy 100. You just have to sit down and write. So just do it. It's so easy. All right. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you the video from Brad Pasley. Blah. All right. So let's do this.